Hello guys. So in this video, we will be speaking about exempt person. Exempt person comes under article number 44 of corporate tax regime. So let's see who are the exempt person. Now, there are many exempt person. So let's see one by one who are the exempt person. The first one is a government entity. Okay. Now, again, we will be discussing about this government entity more under Article 5. Government controlled entity. We will be discussing more under Article 6, extractive business. We will be discussing more under Article 7, non-extractive natural resource business, Article number 8, qualifying public benefit entity, Article number 9, qualifying investment fund, Article 10, public pension or social security fund or private pension or a social security fund. Okay, this one does not come under any article, but uh, any organization which is a public pension or social security fund or a private pension or a social security fund, it will be an exempt person. Any juridical person that is wholly and controlled by A, B, and F, G. That is, any juridical person means any company which is wholly owned and controlled by government entities, government control entities, qualifying investment fund, public pension or social security fund, or a private pension or social security fund. Okay, so these juridical person are also exempted. The last one, any other person as may be determined in a decision issued by cabinet at the suggestion of the minister. Okay, so I won't be touching in depth of all of these exempt person in this article, but separately, when I will be speaking about Article 5, I will be going in deep what is government entity. I'll be speaking about government controlled entity when I do a video on Article number 6. Likewise, the other articles. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Now, who are automatically exempt from corporate tax registration? Government entities. So government entities, they don't have to worry about corporate tax registration. Now, if the same government entities, okay, if one of the entities within the government entity does a business, then that entity should be registered for corporate tax. Okay. So for now, just remember, if it is a government entity, they are automatically exempted, provided they're not doing any business. Exempted if listed in a cabinet decision and meet relevant conditions. Who are those people? Government control entity and qualifying public benefit entity. Now, what are the relevant conditions? The relevant conditions will be studying when we talk about more in depth under Article 6 and Article 9. Exempt if they notify the Ministry of Finance and meet relevant conditions. Who are these people? Extractive business and non-extractive natural resource business. So again, under Article 7, we will be speaking more about extractive business, and under Article 8, we'll be speaking more about non-extractive natural resource business. Let's move to the next slide. Now, exempt upon application and approved by the FDA. Now, who are the juridical person who needs to make an application with the FDA and it has to be approved by the FDA? Who are those people? Qualifying investment fund, Article 10, public pension or social security fund, or a private pension or a social security fund, and a juridical person that is wholly and controlled by exempt person. A, B, F, G. Again, who's A, B? A is government entity, B is government controlled entity, F is qualifying investment fund, and G is public pension or social security fund or a private pension or a social security fund. The last one, any other person as may determine in a decision issued by the cabinet or suggestion of the minister. Okay, so let's quickly again revise. Who are automatically exempted? Government entity are automatically exempted. Now, which companies, which entities needs to be listed in a cabinet decision and has to meet relevant condition? government controlled entity, and qualifying public benefit entity. Now, who has to notify the Ministry of Finance and meet relevant conditions? Extractive business and non-extractive natural resources business. Now, who are those entities who has to apply with the FTA and has to be approved by the FTA? Qualifying investment fund, public pension or social security fund, or a private pension or a social security fund. And a juridical person that is wholly owned and controlled by an exempt person. A, B, F, G. A means government entity, B is government controlled entity, F is qualifying investment fund, and G is public pension or social security fund or a private pension or social security fund. The last one is any other person as may be described in a decision issued by the cabinet at the suggestion of the minister. Okay. Now, what are the accounting standard? If you are an exempt person, what are the accounting standard? What rules need to follow? An exempt person under the corporate tax law may use other accounting standards. Now, as we discussed in our previous videos, okay, when it comes to corporate tax, you have to follow IFRS. And again, there are certain set of rules while following IFRS. If your revenues are beyond 50 million, you will have to use full IFRS and you will have to maintain audited financial statements. Now, if your revenues are less than 50 million, then you can use IFRS for SMEs. And then it's not necessary for you to maintain audited financial statements. Now, this is only on the corporate tax. Now, your company might have your own set of rules when it comes to the auditing. Again, the other rule is if your revenues are less than 3 million, then you can apply for small business relief. And at that point of time, you are eligible to use cash basis of accounting. If your revenues goes beyond 3 million, then you will have to use accrual basis of accounting, right? Now, however, if an exempt person, a government entity, a government controlled entity, and an extractive or a non-extractive natural resource business has business or business activities treated as a separate taxable person or businesses as part of the corporate tax law, the exempt person is required to use IFRS or IFRS for SMEs to prepare the financial statements for the taxable activity. Now, as I've told you earlier in the beginning of this video, if any of your entities has got a business, I mean, if your entity is doing a business, then that entity has to be registered for corporate tax. And when that entity is registered for corporate tax, then obviously it will fall under certain rules while applying IFRS or while applying cash basis of accounting or accrual basis of accounting or when it comes to auditing. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Now, I've made a very nice, you can say a flow chart. Who are the exempt person? So let's see. Under exempt person, you've got who are automatically exempt person. Now, there's only one person, one juridical person who's automatically exempted, that is the government entities. Now, government entities are not required for corporate tax registration. Now, if a government entity conducts a business, then that business is required for city registration. Okay. Now, second one, exempt if they notify to the ministry and meets relevant condition. Who are they? When I say ministry, it is Ministry of Finance. Who are they? Extractive business and non-extractive business. Now, if they notify to the Ministry of Finance and if they meet the relevant conditions, okay, then they are exempted. Now, again, these businesses may have an ancillary or incidental business. Okay, means which is not the main business, but they may have which is not a core business, but they may have a side business or something where they may earn revenue out of it. Now, even those incomes will be exempted, provided it does not exceed 5% of the total revenue. Now, again, we will be speaking all of this in a different article, but I'm just trying to give a glimpse of this. Now, if does not exceed 5%, then it is not necessary for the extractive or non-extractive business for a corporate tax registration. Now, if the revenue exceeds 5 million, when I say revenue, okay, so yeah, anyway, we'll be speaking about extractive and non-extractive in the upcoming articles. So if it exceeds 5%, then it is necessary for them to register for corporate tax. Okay. Now, third one, exempted if listed in cabinet decision and meet relevant conditions. Okay, who are those entities? Government controlled entities, qualifying public benefit entities. Okay. Now again, under government controlled entities, there are certain mandated activities, and there are not mandated activities. Okay. Now, if these government controlled entities are doing only mandated activities, then they don't need to register for corporate tax. If they are not doing mandated activities, then they are required to register for corporate tax. So again, qualifying public benefit entities, no need for corporate tax registration. Okay, the authority may request the exempt person for an annual declaration confirming they still fulfill the exemption conditions. Okay, now as I told earlier that all of these, okay, when you talk about government entities, extractive, non-extractive, government controlled entities, I talk about public benefit entities or the entities, whatever you see. Okay, we'll be speaking in depth in next videos. Okay, in various other articles. Okay, what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to give only a glimpse of the exempt person, just a picture of an exempt person. The last one here, exempt upon application and approved by the FDA. Okay, who are those entities? Public and private pension or social security funds, qualifying investment funds, juridical person incorporated in the UAE that are wholly controlled by certain exempt person. Who are those people? Government entities, government controlled entities, qualifying investment fund, pension or social security fund, and private. Any other person as may be determined in a decision issued by the cabinet decision of the minister. Okay, now coming to this. Now this area is applicable for government entities if it does business. Extractive non-extractive business, if it fails, if the revenue, if the ancillary or incidental business revenue exceeds 5%, and if the government controlled entities, okay, conducts an activity which is not mandated, okay, then they need to follow these set of rules. Now, what are these set of rules here? They need to maintain a separate financial statement for those entities which is conducting business, calculate taxable income for its business and business activities of this article independently for each tax period. Related party transactions, arm's length principle between the business or business activity and other activities with the exempt person shall be subject to the provision of Article 34. Now, again, when you talk about related party transactions, arm's length principle, again, it's a different article. Okay, it's a big lesson. We will be speaking in our other videos about this. May apply for all of its business and business activities to be treated as single taxable person like a tax group. To use IFRS or IFRS SMEs based upon their revenues and to prepare the financial statements of the taxable activity, right? So yeah, so just coming to this, and then we will close this video. Now, when it comes to exempt person, exempt upon application and approved the FDA, what does this area speak? The above exempt person must apply. Who are the above exempt person? Public and private pension authority, qualifying investment funds, juridical person incorporated in the UAE that are wholly and controlled by certain exempt person, which is government entity, government controlled entity, qualifying investment funds and pension authorities, and any other person as may be determined in a decision by the cabinet at decision of the minister, that the above exempt person must apply for tax registration and obtain a tax registration number. Right, applications will be open from, actually this is first, we have already opened now. They've already opened from 1st Jan 2024. If the authority approves the application of the tax registration, that person is category may be entitled to submit the application for exempt from corporate tax with the relevant exemption conditions are met. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this video.